Hey, what's up? Welcome to DGen Ed. That's degenerative education, meaning none of this is financial advice. Just me having fun looking at charts like the chart behind me, which is of the volatility index, ticker symbol VIX. And so here I am recording this on December 18th on Wednesday after the FOMC meeting. And we've seen a pretty big pullback in the markets. And so, yeah, I just wanted to go over the VIX because it had a pretty massive green candle on the day, going up over 74%, closing at $27.62. And so, like, the last time that we had a move that big was back here around August 5th. But on August 5th, we only went up about 64.9%. On the day leading up to that day, we did end up going up, much higher than we went today. So, I do think that the VIX could continue to go higher, but at the same time, whenever there are big moves in the VIX, they don't tend to last that long. So maybe we do see a continuation tomorrow into Friday, perhaps, but maybe we see a pullback on Thursday, tomorrow on the 19th. So I wouldn't be surprised either way. As over here does look like a pretty big wick to the upside, big topping tail there, or blow off top. We haven't seen that yet with the VIX, so I could definitely see it continuing higher. But like I said, I don't think it's going to be lasting for many days, and I do think it could be pulling back. And one thing that I did go over about a month ago was the UVIX, ticker symbol UVIX, which is the 2x long VIX futures ETF. And so this is one that I tend to trade. I put a video out on it maybe a month ago, maybe a month and a half ago, I'm not really sure, when I was going over these 2-week cycles when, we had this big run up leading up to, August 5th. Following that, we had about 2 weeks of it pulling back, followed by 2 weeks of it going green again. And, it's just really cycled between a red 2-week period and a green 2-week period. And so following that last video, I believe it was actually, around the middle of November when I put that out, we did not get a move up to test this yellow line here, the underside of that wedge or that uptrending level. And so I was a little bit disappointed by this green box, but we did get over these 2 weeks, pretty big move to the upside, or at least, not nothing, going from the low up, almost 35%, 33.5% there. And then following that, we did pull back. And the downside 2 weeks was actually pretty minimal, hitting a low of $2.99. And over the course of that week, that 2-week period, going down about 8.5%. So really not too bad there. But when we did switch back into the green, just over the course of, 4 trading days really, or getting back into this red rectangle, it didn't take too long. We are now in this green 2-week period. So like I said, I do think that the VIX, the UVIX, could be going higher, meaning I think that the stock market could be pulling back some more, but I do think that this will likely be short-lived. And it does look like it's up about 50% from the lows over there. And so, I could see it continuing to right around this yellow uptrend. That would be getting to around $4.90, maybe $5. Currently at $4.13 at close, being up about 20.75% on the day, with a continuation in the after hours by about 8%. So yeah, I just wanted to go over that because, I think that this 2-week cycle thing, has been playing out pretty well as long as one does not get super greedy. And so for me personally, I was accumulating down here. I did have a position, but I took profits today because I don't know how long this is going to last. And I just kind of wanted to secure those gains. And so now I got a little bit of cash on the side, which is nice. But, if it does run more, as always, I'm sure I could have made more on that. But I think it's good to, take risk off the table when the opportunity arises. And I also think it's good to hedge for days like today because then it, allows for taking profits when everything else is red. So anyways, I just wanted to share that, and I will start ticker requests live. But I just wanted to throw this up here because those, are just my thoughts. If you found them helpful, make sure you like the video, share your thoughts in the comments down below, and make sure you subscribe to the channel for more videos like that and more live streams like Ticker Request Live, which we are doing now. So yeah, happy to take some requests. I just kind of wanted to record that so I could put out that as a clip. And because I think it's really good for us to just be thinking about, these things happen, and it's good to take advantage of dips when they happen, but it's also good to not chase falling knives. So we'll see what happens over the next few trading days, the next 2 trading days, I should say, the rest of the week. But yeah, I think that we're probably going to see things continue higher, but it may be short-lived. But I also think we might continue lower before we get a bounce. And yeah, Nameless, what's up? How's it going? Let's see. I'll throw up PAGs. Yeah, happy to do it. It's been a while. Ooh, yeah, so I think with this, down 8% on the day. It looks pretty bad just because it's like getting into new lows, broken below this low. Like, was that, yeah, 693, I guess? Just making sure that line's right. Yeah, 693. I don't know how significant this trend line is. It seems like we've traded around it. Just gonna switch over, to the weekly. Yeah, I don't know how significant that is. But maybe that's a level to the downside. But kind of, what I've been putting out less videos and focusing more on options. And I just, and something that happened like over last week, I realized, I think with NEO, just that some of the stocks that I was following with options, there just wasn't that much activity with them. And so with that, there's just like, with technical analysis, you want to have multiple levels lining up to really get an idea about something. But also if that's paired with options data that suggests whether bullish or bearish based on whatever direction you're hoping to go in, I just think that it's kind of a bad time to be in very speculative plays. Not that I'm saying this one is, because I don't really know too much about them. But I mean, it is a Brazilian company, if I remember that correctly. So maybe just, being cross borders, maybe that's, or just not even in the US, maybe that's a little bit of a concern. But I had also, mentioned NEO. I feel like there's probably going to be some stimulus in China that will be good for stocks like NEO, like Alibaba. I don't know what might prompt a big move with PAGs. But yeah, I feel like I've been kind of easing out of some of the more speculative positions that I have, either taking small profits or break even. But I've just been trying to be more consolidated in the risk plays that I'm in. Like all of them are risky, every trade is. And trying to focus more on the ones that I feel like are backed by either more momentum or, data, options data. And so I'm not sure we can look over with PAGs at the options. But this kind of reminds me, somebody just posted a comment on X about Canoe, ticker symbol GOEV. And, I feel like, we just saw Biora go under. I used to cover that. I got out of that. I shared that I was getting out of that. Also with Fisker, I expressed a lot of concern about that when they were possibly filing for bankruptcy. That was a huge dud. I previously, before the channel, had bad experience with Lordstown Motors. And yeah, this stuff happens. Not saying it's going to happen with PAGs, but I just feel like now is kind of a time that, maybe we're getting into a topping time in the market, like legit. And it might last months hanging out around here. But if there are stocks that aren't performing that well, hitting new lows. Good to, I think, de-risk and consolidate in the positions that one is more confident in. But yeah, with this one, if it came down to that white downtrend, that could be coming down to like $5. And this actually, the price of this kind of reminds me of Luminar, how it's just, just been going down nonstop. And yeah, so like from here, yeah, I'm just trying to think. So that's like that retracing, like thinking, could I do a Fibonacci extension like from here to down? Well, that'd be assuming that the bottom's in here though. Could that be from here to here? Maybe. Yeah, so I'll just do a Fibonacci extension, which I don't think is going to really be that significant. But so an extension from like 1498 to here, bottom, and then up to here. I'll color that light blues, or maybe I'll do it yellow, so it looks a little bit different. And I will add some levels to it. Let's see, where is the 3618 at? Oh, wait, no, I think I just want to... Okay, so what do I have up there? I've got the, okay, the 100, the 1618, the 2618. Let's see where that's at. That's around 440. Yeah, I mean, I think that this could be going down to 5. I do think, though, that generally the big move down that we saw in the market today, I think it might continue into tomorrow and Friday. But I don't think it's going to be long-lived. I think we'll see a bounce, but that could be a dead cat bounce. So I think it's good to be cautious that things are likely to still go lower. And so, yeah, with this one having broken below the prior low, 52-week low, 618. Oh, wait, 618, that is this low over here. So, yeah, this was November 1st, back here of 2023. And that low was 693. So yeah, we've been putting in new lows. So yeah, I'd be cautious with it. I'll look over, like, are there options? Yeah, there are options. I'll look over at, let's see, unusual whales, so we can see if there's anything there. And I might actually switch this over from my bookmarks to Ticker Request Live. And let's see, PAGs, right? So let's look at that highest volume contracts. And I like to check out the premium just because, it's like following the money. There can be a lot of volume on something that just has smaller premium, and then it's not as notable. And so let's just look at a couple of these. So $7 call and put. This is the $7 put for this Friday, so it's probably not too useful. But yeah, and then there's an $8 call for May. So let's look at those just to see if there's any like real volume that stands out with these from prior days. So it looks like 52,000 from today for this $7 put. It expires this Friday. Not surprising that that would have a lot of volume more recently because it's about to expire. Price being below 7. People are probably taking profits, I'd imagine. So it's not too surprising to see this number going lower. But yeah, I mean, and also, yeah, just getting closer to expiration with that number going lower. So the number of contracts held going lower makes sense. And then let's see, then one of these two are further out in the future. This is an $8 call that expires in May of 2025. And actually, well, one thing I'm going to switch back to the put. I like to look at these with the 30 days just so we can see that, yeah, there's a lot more volume, as we're getting to today. And then if we look at the $8 call that expires in May, bigger volume here. The premium, so that's in yellow, has come down. It's yellow. There's a big spike in the volume for today. And so, and then we can look over at the chart that's, right over here. Shows the price coming down in yellow. And as that's coming down, you see the call premium going up. It's net above 0. But you also see the put premium going up a little bit over here. And so that's kind of neutral, but it's more volume on the buying call side or on the call side, so I think that's good. Net call premiums going up, that means contracts are being accumulated rather than being sold. So whether that's this contract or general, and then if we adjust this to 30 days, we can see that, yeah, as the price has gone down, there have been some big spikes in calls to the upside, not really puts to the upside. There was some selling of puts here, even though it has gone lower. But if we look at the, this is the net call and put premiums. This is net call premium for today was about 8,500. Net put premium traded was about 4.6 thousand. And the axis up here goes up to 200,000. So this is maximum spike in call premium of about 200,000. Or sorry, about maybe 125, 133, 100, 133, somewhere around there. And then if we scroll down, let's see, we see last time there was a big spike in this contract was November 29th, 31,000. That's still not that much money as far as contract goes, but was more than traded today. Between yesterday and today, the number of these contracts went down by one. Will be interesting to see if this was more buying or selling tomorrow. So, I mean, that's something I'd check in the pre-market, is just looking at the $8 call that expires in May on the 16th. So if you just look at an options table, it won't tell you if it's gone up or down. But so for today, the open interest was 747. And so if it's higher than that tomorrow, that more of these were being bought. If it goes down, then that they're being sold. And so it's possible this could go from like in the 700s to, if all of this volume was buying, to around 1,200. So I'd look for that. And then this one is a leap. This one expires January 15th of 2027, so a couple years from now. And we can see that the premium traded today was about $57,000. A couple days ago, it was $73,000. So these big spikes in the volume here correspond with the increases in that total premium traded. And so when the 73,000 was traded, that was a net increase because the number of contracts went from 165 to 465, so an increase of 300 contracts. There was a drop between, Tuesday and today of about 10 contracts, but there wasn't a ton of volume or a ton of contracts traded yesterday. So I think it will be interesting to see with this volume of 283 contracts traded on Wednesday if the open interest does go up. And so that's 455 currently. So tomorrow that's above 455, and I would think by a notable amount, maybe 1 to 200, then I think that would be suggesting that the bottom could be in at least between now and January 15th of 2027. So quite a lot of time between now and then. So, maybe the bottom's not in. Maybe this person's just accumulating a ton over time as these buy orders aren't super huge. They're not hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars. But yeah, hopefully that's helpful. This was the $7 call that expires January 15th. And so hopefully that's helpful. How long do you think is possible? Oh, how low do I think is possible? As well, how high do you think it may go? So just looking at the chart here, I think it could go down to, I would say, just based on the chart, maybe around March, the beginning of March. That's where there's this intersection of this 2618 from this Fibonacci extension. So take that with a grain of salt, because it's pretty far removed and it's not really, a major dip here relative to the low over here. So, and let's see, there is, I was just thinking maybe I could do like a measurement from here to here, but then how would that relate? Maybe from like here to then down there. So, yeah, if I were to just take a measurement, this is really just kind of like speculating about it. This goes up $8. And so like if I were to kind of flip this around, so it would be in the downward direction, maybe like from the break over here, maybe the gap. I'll just do it from like around here, from around 1127, I guess. So just like thinking about there being a level of support here. Where might it go from that if it were to be kind of like a measured move from here to here, then from here to down there? Or, that would be, I don't think it'd be coming down to 319. I think 440 is, bearish enough, at least at this stage. But yeah, I mean, I think that this could be coming down to 5 potentially. See where that is relative to that line. Potentially coming down to 440. But I mean, when stuff starts, it's just like when stuff starts making new highs, all-time highs, it's like, well, it's probably going to make another all-time high tomorrow because maybe it's just going to go a little bit higher, wick up, come back down. And so like once new all-time highs start getting hit, it tends to happen multiple times. And I think that's the same with new all-time lows, or just like if it's following an uptrend, maybe it's bumping into resistance, but it could still be going higher while being below that resistance. If there's a downtrend, and maybe it's respecting the downtrend, but it's still going down. So I feel like if the trend is like the trend is your friend, and the trend for this one is down, the trend for stuff that's going into resistance, it's like don't fight it. And so like this one's not necessarily putting in bottoming signals, although maybe what I just drew here is or could be helpful. So that looks like it's lined up over there at 751s to the low from December 19th of 2022. And then the other pivot point, just want to make sure it's lined up, should be at 693. So yeah, that should be lined up just right. Maybe I'll make this line, I'll make it, I don't know, red, I guess. It's kind of thin, but then we can see, I mean, maybe I would say this is hopium. I want to get too carried away with this, but I didn't draw that based on where the current price is. I drew that based on these two lows, just connecting the dots, and that's exactly where the low was from today. It didn't close at the low. It's up about 1% in the after hours. So it's possible it'll bounce from here, but I think it will be a dead cat bounce. I think that this is probably going to continue down to 5. Maybe that's wrong, but this doesn't look so good. I do think there's a bounce. Maybe it could bounce up to like 7. Maybe the market starting to, like the SPY's getting back around 600 around then, and then maybe it starts to roll over. So I think this one's probably going lower, but there might be a bounce up to like 7. So yeah, hopefully that's helpful. And how high? I mean, I think if it does go past 7, there's this gap here at 777, not too exciting. But then there's this big gap up here around 1060. I think it could go there, but I think that would have to be like getting into a big rally. But I think we're starting to get into like fear zone, but it's also like it's not Christmas yet, so we haven't, like the Santa Claus rally isn't fulfilled. I feel like we're still going to be going up into the end of the year, but I think that there's probably going to be some, I would say, profit taking in the new year. So they're not paying taxes on it for 2024's taxes. But I think that like right now, if there are stocks that are losers, like over the past year, PAGS has net gone down. People, institutes that hold this, whatever, they might be taking cutting losses at the end of the year, tax loss harvesting, because then they get a break on the amount of taxes that they would have to pay, as long as they wait 30 days before buying back. And so I feel like right now might be in addition to the FOMC, I think that there might be some cutting of losses for tax benefits with the plan to then buy back a month later, maybe, or to look elsewhere. So yeah, I mean, I think that that's probably affecting stocks that are down, I would imagine right now. And Sean, what's up? I'm glad you're learning. Hopefully, yeah, if there's requests that you have, happy to go over it. But yeah, I mean, I am, yeah, I mean, I'm really excited about like some of the stuff I go over in the options videos. That's really like, I'm excited about that. Part of the reason why I don't make as many videos lately is because like when I come home from work, I just like look at options data, or I just try to, focus on that. And so it's like I spend a lot of that time in front of the computer. And also too, I think it's good, like, I was previously doing like a repeat video every week. And I think that most of the stuff, at least the way that I trade, like I am fairly slow. And so it's like it's not necessary to go over something like every week. Like I've been posting stuff on the channel about Neo because I mean maybe I'm wrong, but I think that it's gonna really take off. Maybe it comes down more, and for me it's like then I'll just accumulate more. That's fine. So I'm not worried about it, but it's like I put out a video on it that I'm bullish on it. That hasn't changed. It's pulled back. And yeah, I mean, I think that this is just dip buying opportunity for stocks like this. And also, in support of my thesis on this, which I think was first kind of like I connected the dots between, Neo and like Alibaba and the Chinese stocks because Gareth Soloway was talking about it, looking at the Hang Seng, which is an index for, I believe, the Chinese, but it might be the Hong Kong stock market. I don't like. Let's see, Hang Seng, Hang Seng. I don't know how to spell that. All right, let's see, Hang Seng. What is the Hang Seng, and how do you spell it? I might ask Grok that. There's some roaring kitty. I was having some fun. This one I thought was pretty good, and I thought this one was kind of funny. And yeah, but I settled on these were too cute, less cute. I settled on that one. They're all kind of bad. But I'm gonna do a new chat, and I'm gonna ask Grok, what is the Hang Seng market? The Hang Seng, okay, spelled it incorrectly, refers to the Hang Seng Index, the HSI, which is a market capitalization weighted stock market index in Hong Kong. Okay, it was Hong Kong. Here are some key points about the Hang Seng Index. I could get into the details, but I really was just curious. Is it the Chinese stock market or the Hong Kong, which I believe I should be differentiated, but maybe I'm wrong. I'm not sure. But with Gareth talking about that, hitting a low over here. Actually, I can just pull it up. Let's see, HSI. Wait, no, Hang Seng. Hang Seng. I'm not sure. I don't know how to put it up over here. I guess I could just do it in the trading view. So let's see. HSI. Hang Seng. I'll do this one, not the futures. I don't know. CD, whatever. This one, I guess. Yeah, so I don't know if this is right. Just kind of want to make sure these all kind of look the same. Yeah, they all kind of look the same, but I'm going to switch to back to the original one I was looking at. But yeah, I mean, this strikes me as, my understanding of it was, basically that there have been some breakouts. I mean, you can draw this in a few different ways. Yeah, so that's kind of rough. I just drew that, as you saw. But, attempt to get up there, couldn't do it. Got up to there, pulled back, and then broke out. Now retesting. And so I think that this could be taken off. And with that, I think that Neo could be taking off along with Baba. And the thesis for that is kind of like, during the pandemic, how many stimulus checks did we get? Did we just get one? No. We got multiple. And so I think that if China had done stimulus before, I think that they'll do it again. And that led to this big move over here. I think that this was like the beginning of something like that. But now we're just retesting, pulling back, and I think that it will go higher. And so, yeah, I think that, I don't know, I'm really excited about Neo. I think it's probably obvious because I post stuff like this. I think it's pretty cool. I always just include like the prompt, draw it in claymation like the Puffin and Narwhal from the movie Elf. And so I get stuff like this. It's fun. It's a little bull thinking about Neo and China stocks. Like this one here. Face Off. Face Off 2, China stocks. But yeah. And TMC, yeah, happy to go over TMC. And I think, like, in all honesty, I think for the most part, my thesis for is pretty much the same for all stocks. Is that I think it could go lower over the next couple days. I think that following that, we'll see a bounce. I don't think it will be a complete like recovery bounce or anything. Like just thinking about the SPY, and then I think it will roll over. It's possible that like smaller caps or less, I don't know, mainstream stocks, more retail stocks could be going higher, but I really don't know. And so this one, yeah, it hit a new low, 52-week low, 75 cents, which was hit today. And yeah, so I guess what I would look for this is like there's the low from over here, 80.3 cents. So I got that light blue line there. And so it's like this is the first, we didn't even get a close lower than that level. On this day it closed at 80.22. So yeah, technically that did close lower than it. And then there was this low put in at 78 cents. There's a line there, so I believe I talked about it before. And so following that, got this bounce, consolidated here, and, got a wick below that level, sweeping the lows. So, potentially that's good. But then now we got a close not only below this low. So that to me is like that's a confirmation that this line here at 78 cents is now going to be, a more notable level of resistance. So that's going to be a tougher level to get back above now. That doesn't necessarily mean that the stock price is going lower. It could consolidate below that level, which could be another consolidation like this where it then breaks lower. And so I would look for since on this day, on the 18th, this was the first day that we got a close, not only below this low, but also below this low, which was 77 cents. That makes me think that we need to reclaim this level. And so that would be by closing above today's high. Because if we close above 78 cents, that's good. But, it doesn't take that much to get back up there. Especially because the high for today was 80 cents. Also, maybe this is not significant, but just being, 80 round cents, no pennies involved, or nickels, unless it's 3/4 in a nickel. But you could be all dimes in quarters. But yeah, no pennies. And so I think that like really getting a close above 80 cents would then negate this yellow line as being notable resistance. And so I feel like this is probably going to trade lower. And also, just like if I don't think this is happening now, I think that things are going to continue to rally but it might be short-lived, like to the end of the year. But if we are to enter a bear market, like let's say the top is in for the stock market, what are the plays that one wants to be in? And is one in this to invest, or is one in this to trade? And so for me, I realize that, I talk about some stuff like an investor, but really I'm a trader. I just try to get in and out of things. Um, and I like is or especially, I'm trying to just get better at taking profits. And so that's why options have been helpful for me, because there's a time constraint, so that, I'm not going to be greedy. I'll take profits. Um, and so, yeah, I mean, is this one that needs to be held long-term, belief in the future, or is this just total speculation? I can't look over at the options data with this. Will probably be a big ramble, but I actually don't think that there's going to be much data on it because it is a penny stock. And so, yeah, I mean, I think that there's just not going to be, in all honesty, much interesting data. Getting back up to here, that's around 990. Yeah, I mean, yeah, this looks like it's just, I mean, it could be just a dip buying opportunity. This is sweeping the lows, but like I really like looking at the options data to get an idea. So if I look at TMC, I'm sure it's just going to be super low volume, very low premium. Yeah, like the highest amount of premium traded today was 18,000, and Wall Street Bets defines a YOLO as 10,000. And so in like the options videos, I've been talking about, if it's like less than 10,000, like if I see like millions of dollars traded on something, it's like, to me, that's like a pretty big whale, like whether it's a blue whale or a humpback or, whatever kind of, bigger whale. Maybe 100,000 is like a killer whale or something. 10,000, tens of thousands, that's kind of like a manatee or like a herd of manatees. They just go around, they munch on seagrass. They're not too aggressive. They don't really do that much. They're sea cows. And, in this, given that it's, not even tens of thousands, it's like a whole intact manatee and another manatee, but that's gotten hit pretty bad by some motorboats. So it's not even really a full manatee. And so that's what this is, this amount of premium, $18,000. So it's not a whale, it's just a dumb manatee or, a degen YOLOing on this. So nothing to be paying too close attention to. If we click on this contract, we can get a little bit more information on it. But yeah, $18,000. This is a call expiring not this January, but 2 Januaries from now on the 16th of 2016. So we can look at that. So it looks like, as price or the premium is coming down today, or over the past 30 days, I should say. The premium spiked. So we'll have to see what that is tomorrow. We can see over here that this is for 30 days. And we've seen that this is the price over here coming down in yellow. And there have been, not too much going on with the calls in green or the puts in red that put premium, call put premium, net call and put premium. But we have seen, big spike in calls over here, or sorry, puts over here, big drop in puts here. So somebody, bought, caught puts here when the price was high, yellow was off the chart here, and then they sold here. So they took profit on that. So that was a pretty clear in and out trade right there. Following that, there hasn't been too much activity on it. If we look at just the daily, we can see that, as prices come down, calls, net call premium has gone down. So these calls have been getting sold, while the puts, is more or less positive. And so looking at this, the open interest for today at the start of the day was 2,836 contracts. And so with a volume of 606 contracts traded today, if all were bought, this open interest would go to like 3,400. If all were sold, this would go down to like 2,200. It's probably going to be somewhere in between those two. And if this goes up, that means maybe this is a bottom. if this is going down tomorrow, down from 28.36, then, it's because this call premium, these calls are being sold, they're being dumped because they expect it to go lower, but it also could be just fear. And, when there's blood in the streets, it's time to feast. So that could be right now. So, yeah. So hopefully that's helpful. But yeah, I think that this does need to reclaim 78 cents, and by confirming above it, it would need to close above 80 cents as far as my understanding of confirmations go. And if my understanding of them is correct, it has confirmed below this level. It is now going to be major resistance. Whereas, if it just goes below this, it's kind of, minor resistance. But maybe there's a bounce tomorrow. So, but yeah, on these, big volume sell-offs, and then it's just been kind of low volume as it fades lower. I feel like it's probably going to go lower, but yeah. And if there are other requests, happy to go over them. Been doing this for about 40 minutes. I might call it off at around the hour mark, just so I can release the VIX video, and just because I don't want to do this too long, because I'm off tomorrow, but I feel like I only really get 2 days off every 2 weeks, because either the market's open or I'm at work, and I work every other weekend. So I don't want to be in this space too late tonight. But yeah, I can talk about some of the other stocks that I've gone over. I did pick up call on QuantumScape today. I picked it up when it was around here. So, I kind of bought the top there, but I just got one call, and there's this nice pullback. So I will probably buy that. And, from others posting, including Chart Norris, as well as the Bronx Viking, who put it on my radar, just kind of talking about QuantumScape. While it is a solid state battery company, it does have the word quantum in the name. Also, it's very beaten down. And I think that there were some issues with Tesla Cybertruck batteries, something, maybe production. So, and yeah, I'll pull up the rabbit hole on that because it's pretty cool. I think I reposted it. So let's see, let's go to the profile, and I find this to be interesting. The SPY, the S&P 500 was down less than 3% on the day, like 2.95 and 2.98% on the day. So I just find that really interesting that, like, if it would have been down 3.01% or just 3%, then I think it's like, oh, well, is it CNBC or, Fox Business will be talking about, the S&P 500 is down more than 3% on the day. That didn't happen. So that makes me think we're going to get a bounce. I find that interesting. And let's see, I was posting some. I recommend checking this video out. I'm going to kind of post a continuation of it, which I went over at the beginning of this. Who is going shopping? Most people screaming. I'm going shopping tomorrow. QS. Oh, okay, yeah. So, and this is kind of cool too. I was like posting some of this stuff, and the Bronx Viking was liking my post. So that's cool. So, yeah. So he first posted this one, and I was thinking that I've been thinking this because of the Willow chip by Microsoft, that quantum seems like it will be the AI of 2025. And so I'll have a look more closely at the QuantumScape data, but so far I like it. And so that was based on this post from the Bronx Viking, that QS is the next one to break out, in my opinion. Big money has been loading calls the last 30 days, with yesterday being the most bullish. I'll look at that data in a second. Another high short interest play with the word quantum in their name and trading in a giant wedge at macro bottom. Sure, why not? Yeah, checks out to me, and this goes back to the highs from like July of this year, and then connecting with the highs from, it looks like, October. So yeah, we were basically testing that and got rejected. Not a huge surprise, and it's like the kind of the way that I view stuff like this. I can actually just go over to the chart that I have. This is effectively the same thing that he's got there, just this line here. We got rejected from that, and so you could one could think about this as, oh man, I'm holding the bag now because I got here thinking it was going to break out. And so I just view this as, no, this is just more opportunity and time to accumulate before it really breaks out. Because I just have one call, very small, and I don't plan on being super aggressive with my buying. And so, yeah, I think that that's just a really nice opportunity. If we go to the next image that he has here, is the QuantumScape data for. He does it with a white background, so it like confuses me a little bit because I have like a dark background on mine. But so QS blue, that is the stock price over the past let's see, is this 30 days up here? The net put premium has been more or less around zero. Nothing too crazy about that, but the net call premium, there have been tons of moves up over these days, and it resets the start of every day as far as I understand it. And yesterday was, being the most bullish, as he writes over there. And the other image, let's see, the short percent of float is 17.5%. So I guess that's a lot. I don't really look into that stuff too much or pay attention to it. But he also had another tweet that I retweeted, and he liked this, so it makes me very proud. So I reposted that, which that's an that intensifying, not intensifying. That's gross. So that's just, a retweet. He just did a retweet of that previous tweet. All right, QS tinfoil time, hear me out. And so this relates to Tesla batteries. And so his first post is from Walter Bloomberg on X. So I guess these are alerts from unusual whales. So Tesla sees delays in Cybertruck battery production. So, QuantumScape is a stable, solid-state battery production company. Tesla could look to acquisitions to diversify. Maybe they'd want to get in on some solid-state battery diversification. And actually, this would be funny if this was just like leading into me adding to more Tesla shares. I just have one Tesla share right now. I'm never selling it. I love it. And then Tesla could look to acquire specific brands from Western car makers to diversify and expand its offering. Alpha Values, Adrian Brassley says, in light of the U.S. electric vehicle makers' current struggles to renew its portfolio. And then what does QuantumScape do? So this is just a question that the Bronx Viking asked Grok, and Grok responded with QuantumScape develops solid-state lithium metal batteries for electric vehicles, focusing on improving energy density, charging speed, and safety. Their technology includes a unique anodeless design and a solid-state separator to prevent dendrites. Additional information is that QuantumScape's CEO, Dr. Siva Sivaram, has discussed the company's progress and the potential impact of their technology on the battery industry in interviews. The company has partnerships with major automotive manufacturers, including Volkswagen, for testing and potential commercialization. They aim to significantly reduce charging times and increase battery range, addressing key barriers to EV adoption. And so I think that's, a really great thing, especially when, just like thinking about the U.S. as a country, we don't necessarily want to wipe, internal combustion engines off the face of the earth. I don't think that's good, but I think it's good to transition into building up the infrastructure, the capabilities, energy storage, whatnot, for the country. And so I think that this is like a good thing, and I think that this could have some good synergy with Tesla, and also with Elon Musk's position in the Department of Government Efficiency. This battery company seems like it could be a pretty efficient play. And so this is just more of the Bronx Viking posting about QuantumScape and Tesla, tinfoil intensifying. And so let's see. it's a lot of screenshots. So I'll click on this so we can read it a little easier. And this is from Gemini, it looks like. J.B. Straubel, also known as Jeffrey Straubel, became a board member of QuantumScape, which is QS, in 2019. He is a prominent figure in the transportation and sustainable energy industries. Straubel is also known for his work at Tesla, where he co-founded the company and served as its chief technical officer for 15 years. So Tesla co-founded Tesla in 2004, served as CTO until 2019 when he moved to an advisory role. In 2023, he was elected to Tesla's board of directors. So, still very involved with Tesla. And so Redwood Materials, I don't know that this is relevant, but founded Redwood Materials in 2017 and is currently its CEO. Redwood Materials is a Nevada-based company that aims to reduce the environmental impact and cost of lithium-ion batteries. So that's actually one that's, interesting because I think that's kind of a critique of, electric vehicles, is the mining of batteries and the environmental impacts there. And so, I think that is, a good thing that is good to be paying attention to. And to close this out, because I've been rambling on about this for a while, Straubel has a background in engineering with a Bachelor of Science in Energy Systems Engineering and a Master of Science in Engineering from Stanford University. All right, and so, yeah, I'm excited about that. And then I had retweeted that with this options table. Oh, I should say that, so I'm going to be following the $10 June 20th of next year QuantumScape calls, because that seems like a reasonable price target in that time frame. Looking at the chart, I'll go over that in just a second, which suits my risk management style. I'm pretty slow. I don't like stuff that expires really soon. And it's also in the top 11, or at least was when I started writing this post. And so contracts by premium so far today, it's also in the top 11 contracts by premium so far today, although it didn't make the cut by volume. But, I think it's better to follow premium because that's following money versus following volume because, whether it's retail, dumb money, sheep, however you want to say it, if a lot of it's betting on something because it's cheaper, but that also means it's less likely to win. And so I think a lot of retail does that. Oh, these calls are cheap or these puts are cheap, I'm going to get them. But really the big monies go in the opposite direction or something. And so this is just a screenshot of the table. I'll go over this because I need to wrap this up, with QuantumScape. I can't drop this ramble. But yeah, so from this is the top 11 over here. So I guess I'm going to make Ed go away for a second. Over here, QuantumScape, $10 call, June 20th expiration. This has, over 100,000 on it. The one that has the most premium on it is over 400,000. And that's the $6 call expiring not this Friday, but next Friday on the 27th of December. And that's a call. So I'm not sure if open interest is going up today, but considering that the volume is 17,000 and from Tuesday to today, Wednesday, the 18th, it went up by almost 11,000. That's a pretty big increase. Scratch that, not volume. Volume traded today, yes, 17,000, that's a lot. But open interest from, let's say, actually, I'm confused. Oh, these are different contracts. Yeah. So open interest, I was like, these aren't different previous days. These are different contracts. But so at the close of yesterday, Tuesday, the open interest was less than 5,000. Then it went up by almost 11,000. And now for today at the start of the day, was over 15,000 with over 17,000 traded today. I suspect that there's a lot of buying. I suspect this number went up, but maybe there was some panic selling because of the drop. So good to consider that. But I am going to switch over to unusual whales, and I've got it up on my other thing, but I want to look up QS. So I'm just going to type it here in the search under the open interest contract lookup, and Ed wants to continue with us, so I'm going to bring him back to the party. And so I'm going to sort these by premium over here because they default highest volume, sort by premiums. And we can see these ones. So the one that I was just looking at, which one was that? That was the $6 call that expires December 27th. Look at that over here. That's this one, second highest in premium today, over $500,000 traded on, the top 4 here. So that's over $2 million right here. And that looks like it's probably going mostly long because these contracts have been increasing the past few days. If there was a decrease between today and tomorrow, I suspect it's because of panic. And so, yeah, anyways, this one went up by, over $500,000 going into it in premium. And so we'll have to see what the open interest is tomorrow. But yeah, I mean, it went from, at this time when I posted this, which was around 1 p.m. Eastern, I believe. I'm in the Midwest, so I got to translate that to East Coast time. But so for this contract, that was a volume of 17,000. It ended the day with a volume of 24,000. So let's see, that might be the highest in volume for the day. No, actually, it was a call, $10 strike call that expires in January. So that's pretty bullish. That's also been going up between Tuesday and Wednesday. We'll see if it's gone up into tomorrow. Currently at like 19,000 with 34,500 contracts traded today. So I feel like that's probably going to go up, but maybe not. Do sort this by premium again. We can then see that, this one here is right there. But the one that I'm interested in, I need to mention that. I need to follow up with that. It moved its way down here. I tend to like the contracts that are a little bit less exciting because it's a $10 call, just checking, just because it gives me more wiggle room. I'd rather have more wiggle room. I'm still learning options, still managing risk with all that, learning how to manage risk appropriately. And so this one down here is the one that I'm interested in. So this is, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So this is down to the 14th highest in premium traded on the day. But let's add this over here, take a look at it. This is over the past 30 days. Got a nice big spike here in volume traded, nice big spike here. So this was on the 5th of December. And so let's see, the 5th of December, 76,000 traded on that day, total premium. Number of contracts went from about less than 6,000, 5,746 to about 6,300. And from there, it's gone up about 200 more with an additional over 2,000 contracts traded today. So, it's quite possible this open interest could be up to 8,500. I feel like if it's gone up, it's probably gone up to 7,500 because some of this is probably going to be selling because of panic and whatnot. But yeah, almost $50,000 premium traded on this. This is not the most sexy contract, so it's not surprising that this total premium is not millions of dollars. But I could also look at, I'm sticking with QS because I'm excited about this. But yeah, just searching QS again by highest volume. I'm going to switch to highest premium. And so let's look at some of these other contracts that, these top 4 that had more than $500,000 traded on them. So the first one, let's see. I don't know that I'm going to, so 5, 6, and then 6, 5, 6, 756. Okay, so this is the highest volume one traded for today. And that is, over $500,000. And we don't actually see volume as high in the past. Look at the other one that's next on the list. I believe that's this one. The past, couple trading days, over $500,000 today in premium. Over $250,000 traded on Tuesday the 17th, over 300,000. So that's pretty exciting. And then the other one that was like on third on the list was the $6 call that expires in January. big spike in premium today, over 500,000, but prior spikes were the highest spike. Looks like it was back on November 20th, and that was a total, the candle volume for that day, 4,000. Well, that's volume. So that would be, sorry, that was November 20th. Should say 4,000 down here. Yeah, that would be this day, November 20th. So you can see that. And that's 120,000. Getting into the 6 digits, so that's good. And yeah, over 500,000 today. So that seems pretty exciting. So I did that one. And then the next one is the 750 call, also expiring in January. Got this big spike here that's over 500,000. The last highest one in this like 30-day time frame was November 6th, and that was a total candle premium of almost 100,000, 97,584. So yeah, that just looks really exciting. And I think there was something I wanted to mention with the chart. Oh yeah, as far as price targets go, why $10? Because this line here goes back to this point. That high from July 17th was 752. So just round that up to $10, and that is effectively price target. And for me, I'm not going to hold these calls to expiration. If price goes up to $10, I may sell there. I think that price, I was actually initially looking at $15 calls for the June expiration because there's this high over here. That's 1386. But I think that's getting a little greedy. I don't think that price is going to get up there. I think that price could realistically get up to around $10 a share. And so I feel like that's a safer bet than over here, even though I'm not trading it to expire in the money or to exercise. I'm just trading it to swing for premium. But I think that $10 is a pretty reasonable price target. So yeah, I will respond to more comments, but I'm also just going to throw up this here because, as always, those are just my thoughts. If you found them helpful, make sure you like the video, share your thoughts in the comments down below, and make sure you subscribe to the channel for more rambles like this. Thanks a lot for watching. And so I'll probably release that as a video as well. So yeah, cool. It's nice to get 2-for-1s in this. And that ended around the hour mark, so I got to remember that. But I only got 2 videos, the VIX and QS, to go over with this. Okay, and so let's see, Nameless, I might be able to look at STNE real quick, but since Sean was asking for, Sean, I'm not going to be able to get to all of those. I'll look at RGTI because I had looked over that recently. Yeah, because it's nice to be up before the market opens to be looking at the options data because it gets updated a couple hours before the market opens, and I don't usually have energy to do that, so I just don't want to be up too late doing this. But yeah, RGTI, yeah, I mean, it's the same kind of analysis that I had before. I didn't expect it to go up this high, but I feel like a pullback to some level seems likely. Maybe that level could be $9 and not $5, which I think I was talking about a couple days ago or on Sunday. So yeah, I mean, and this looks like, a big wick to the top side, closing red. I think that this could be pulling back, and just, I have no idea if that's the high, just like I didn't know it was the high over here. And so that would just be, guessing, maybe I could, well, I guess I didn't draw that as a high, but I could add the 2618 to this. Sorry, the 3618 to this. I think the 2618 is already up there. Yeah, the 3618 right around $12. Hit it today with a high of 1275. So yeah, I mean, this is up. Yeah, I mean, it's this is up over 1,600% from the lows over the past 2 months. And so yeah, I mean, it's I think that it's just way too risky now in my view. So I would expect to pull back to $8 or $9. That would be my guess. Yeah, and if one is not in this yet, I think it's incredibly risky. Wait for a pullback, and I think that more than just a pullback like this, to $8 or $9. But yeah, close at 1069. So that's a fun number. And hey Benjamin, what's up? Let's see. BLNK, I'll pull that up. Yeah, so I mean, let's see. Yeah, I mean, like, so just looking at this, I got these lines drawn here. Let's see, 150, closed at 150, so that's not ideal, but, you know, it's swept the lows and then closed here. So I'd say it doesn't look so great that it closed at 150, but if it closed at 149, I think that'd be worse. But, you know, it also could have closed below 148 and it didn't do that. So, yeah, I mean, I think that this doesn't look so bad, but it doesn't look so good either. It's kind of, I would say, kind of 50-50. But also, too, I mean, I've just been like kind of, I feel like focusing more on options and like largely just because of the amount of data that's there. And because then it's like, well, I'm not like, oh, if it goes down, I'm not just going to add more to, and then I can sell when I'm in the green years later. It's, you know, there's an expiration date. So it's like, it has to be very done with intention. And so, yeah, I mean, I like whether it's Blink, ChargePoint, I think that if stuff's putting in new lows, I think it's just good to be prepared for maybe this is going to go down to $1 a share at this point, in all seriousness. But that might take months and there might be some bounces along the way. But yeah, I mean, I remember I first started covering it around here. And, you know, I think actually around here, around this earnings call, the Pi Day earnings call of this year, because I was talking about it getting rejected here. And I think actually, I think I had a put. I think I made a little bit of money, but I took profits like super early. And yeah, it more or less played out to here. I expected it to break below, thinking that this was a falling, descending triangle. But then it broke out. I was surprised by that, but ultimately it did go lower. This was around 225 or so. Now it's at 150. So yeah, I mean, I think that it's quite possible that this could continue to go lower. And if it's possible that the market's topping soon, whether that's like now or a month from now or a couple months from now or a couple weeks from now, who knows? I wonder how that might be. Yeah, I mean, it's, I don't know. I just think it's good to have a plan for that because, you know, Biora, was a dud. Fisker was a dud. I previously, before I started the channel, I traded Lordstown Motors. That was a dud. These can be duds, these stocks. And it doesn't matter what sector they're in. And especially if, I mean, like with Blink, ChargePoint, and EVgo. I saw EVgo took a big tumble recently. With all of that, you know, it's like they don't all have to succeed. You know, a rising tide lifts all boats, but some boats have holes in them and then they sink when the tide rises. So, yeah, I mean, not all of these have to be winners. So yeah, I mean, I think it's good to just to have a plan, whether that's a stop loss or a just going to forget about it and see what happens a year from now or what. But yeah, I think overall this hasn't put in a signal that it's bottomed yet. But this doesn't necessarily mean it's going to go lower where it's closed at here. So that's all I feel about that one. And yeah, and so Sean, yeah, that's something I'll write in my notepad. I'm like working this weekend, so I'm probably not going to be too busy making videos, but sometimes I get like I don't know, little spurts of energy. But yeah, let's see. The next time I'd probably like, so if you're able to tune in on Sunday at 9, I'll do a live stream. It'll be after 3 days of work, so I won't have work on Monday, and so I can stream later. But I just try to make sure you could stop by that and I can go over these. Because like for me, you know, I find that live streams, I really don't make any money with YouTube with them. I make a little bit with videos, but at the same time, I don't really make a notable amount of money with videos. And so for me, it's like more valuable to focus on going over options data, which is not really making videos other than the one that I do on Saturdays. And I guess I incorporate them into some videos now. But just to focus more on that because I think it's better for me in my trading. And as far as videos go, I think it's like live streams are a nice way for us to connect and be able to like casually talk about these things. And then you can kind of also kind of see my thought process with them because, you know, this is like me learning this stuff and trying to understand it. But like sometimes I put out a video and it's like, oh, well, this guy knows what he's talking about. It's like, well, I mean, I'm just trying to present it like that because I want people to watch it, you know? And so, yeah, I'm like, where am I noting these? So RGTI, QBT. And so in all honesty, so QUBT and QBTS, in all honesty. And there was somebody, I think it was like Mimi, I think I need to add it. I won't forget the note on in all honesty. But let's see, what am I looking for? Weemy. Somebody was asking for Weemy, which is like a penny stock. And in all honesty, I've grown less interested in penny stocks because I feel like it's mainly just people hoping to get rich quick. And I feel like that's like not the good way to trade. But yeah, I've got those down in the notepad. And my thoughts, you know, in all honesty, is that I've seen some posts on these recently. I think that it will be good to wait for a pullback. So I don't think it's like the train's leaving the station, you got to get on board right now. I think it's like maybe the train is, but you know, it's going to have to stop down the street because it forgot something, you know. So yeah, I think that those, like I said, regarding QuantumScape, which is not a quantum computing company, that I think that quantum is going to be the phrase for the year of 2025, like AI was for 2024. And so, with that being said, I am just going to pull up STNE real quick, and then I'm going to sign off. Yeah, so this one, big red candle, 7.69, so that's fun percent down today. And let's see. It's possible there are the lows over here. 809. Close below the low over here. That was 809. Let's see, even over to here, 807. So that was the low from September of 2022. The last time we saw prices at where we're currently at was in, the middle of 2022. And so, you know, this could be a dip buying opportunity considering those prior levels. But let's see. This is kind of ugly, kind of rough. Yeah, I don't know. I just draw this based on, I don't know. Yeah, it's just approximate, but you get what I'm saying. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. And if we were to, let's see, I'm going to do this in two different ways. One is by doing a Fibonacci extension. So from the high here at 1946 to the low here, just being approximate, and then up to the high here. And so 100%, so that's like a measured move. That's like the same distance here, which I can prove to you. Oops. What happened? Oh, it just, okay, that's why. Actually, I'm going to color that one orange just because why not? Yeah, and so if I, just take a measurement from the top there to the bottom here, and then move that over to here, that's how you get that, orange line down there. And so that's around 719. So I think this could go down about $1 more. But if I just take this, straight down to, let's see, I'm just going to adjust this. If I take it straight down to that midpoint, intersects with the line here, that maybe would give us, a measurement from that head and shoulders pattern, which take it with a grain of salt. It may not be. But yeah, so from that midpoint, measurement down here, the 1618 happens to be around 231, and the base of that rectangle happens to be around 167, so $2. I think that's a little extreme. But yeah, I mean, this could be coming down $1 more. Possibly, but it also could be finding support here. So I'd keep an eye on $8. That's probably going to be a pretty important level because of these prior lows being a whole dollar number. Currently above it, hit a low of 803, but yeah, it might be going lower. But yeah, I hope that was helpful for all of you guys. Been doing this for an hour and 15 minutes, and I'm going to put together the VIX video from this and a QS video from this. And yeah, and then I will stream again Sunday. But I'll do on Friday, I'll do an AMC video. I'll do the normal options video on Saturday, which will be kind of upgraded this week because I'm just getting more familiar with exploring options data in unusual whales. So that should be cool. And then also, yeah, ticker request live on Sunday. So yeah, thank you all so much for hanging out. Hopefully this was helpful. Yeah, if you haven't already, please make sure you like the stream. If you're not already a subscriber, it'd be great if you do that. And yeah, you can sign up for alerts if you want, but I don't think I do anything that's really, worthy of an alert, but maybe some of the stuff is. And yeah, none of it's financial advice. I'm just, learning the charts and options, trying to navigate the markets myself. Happy to talk about it, learn from you guys, and get some ideas and trades from you all and your stocks that you guys are looking at. But yeah, I mean, I have to say I'm really excited about QS, QuantumScape, and Neo, and Rivian, and Celsius. I did get some Celsius, which I should have waited to get some. But I didn't get a lot, so it's not a big deal. But yeah, anyways, thank you so much for hanging out. I will